Okay, good morning, everyone. How are you today? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Tiptakan. Thanks, Chanakan. Okay, right. Okay, then welcome back to our class. Okay, so today we are going to continue talking about Microsoft Excel. Okay, right. Good morning, Laksika. I hope that everyone is okay today. Right. So on last class we talked about like the basic component in Microsoft Excel. Okay. Um, and for anyone who didn't attend the class on last Wednesday, okay, be reminded that for the software that you have to use, we have to use two different software this term. Okay, from the beginning of the term until midterm examination, we have to use Microsoft Excel. Okay, the version of Microsoft Excel that that you can use is Excel 2010 and above. Okay, right. And for any of you who haven't got um, sorry, not haven't got the second software that we have to use after midterm examination is what we call Power BI. Okay, it's the software is what we call Power BI Desktop. Okay, this one runs on Microsoft Power BI. Power Desktop run on Windows-based computer only. So that means if you use Mac, there are a couple of ways in order to use Power BI software. The first way, if you would like to use your if you would like to use your Mac, you want to use your Mac, you have to install Microsoft Windows on your Mac. So that means if you don't know how to install it, you may have to go to the IT store in town. The nearby ones in around MUIC should be Seacon Bangkare or should be the Mall Bangkare. Okay, you can just like go to the IT store and just like let them install Microsoft Windows for you. In order to install Microsoft Windows, you need to have like another software that acts as the middle person. You may have to use the software that we call it as the what to say parallel desktop. I type this name of the software in the chat box for everyone so that you may just like use this term to refer to just like the service center. Okay, or if you just like if you would like to just like install by yourself, it's okay too. You may have to use Parallel Desktop or VMware or Bootcamp. these three software can work. One of these three software can work as a middle person to your Mac for install before you can install Microsoft Windows. After you install Microsoft Windows already, you may just like go to download Power BI straight away. That is the first way if you would like to use your computer, the Mac. But if you say that no, I just like would like to use my Mac as a Mac only. So you may have to just like go to the campus and use our PC in the computer lab or in the computer lounge in order to just like practice for your Power BI. But anyway, don't forget that it's not just for the practicing. During the lecture time, you need to use that kind of software to follow my instructions as well. Okay. Apart from that one, okay. Apart from using the computer in the computer lab, you have you may just like rent or borrow the computer from other people, okay, to use. And I recommend you to just like if you would like to rent or to borrow the computer, like the laptop computer should be better for you than the desktop one, because you can just like go to carry it anywhere and practice using of this kind of software, right? So for hang on, Prakrit, you asked for the textbook for practice question. Actually, you may just like refer to the textbook in syllabus that I gave you on last class, or you may just like go to our library if you go to the campus and search for the Excel handbook, or you may just like search for the Excel handbook on the internet as well. Everything is okay as long as we use the same function. But make sure that Microsoft Excel handbook that you use or textbook that you use must be the textbook or handbook from Microsoft Excel 2010 and above. Don't use the older than that one, because like some other functions or features in Excel that that are in those textbook might not be updated. And when you practice, okay, somebody asked me that, is it possible to use Excel 365 or not? Yes, you can use it. But if you would like to use, Microsoft Excel on Mac, can we use it? Yes, you can use. But if you try to use like numbers on Mac, or if you try to use Google Sheet, don't use them for practicing because the functions are different. Okay. Right. Okay then. Let's talk about the Microsoft Excel workbook and worksheet that we learned on last class. Everyone, please open up your Microsoft Excel and open up the My First Book workbook that we opened on that we saved on last class. On last class, I introduced you for the component in Microsoft Excel that once we start Microsoft Excel, okay, the first page is here. It just like asks you which activity that you would like to do. For example, in here, it asks us for the file or the workbook that we open it up. And I told you on last class that the file in Microsoft Excel, we just like call the file in Microsoft Excel as a workbook. That's one below. So the next one is that when let me share the screen to you first. Okay. This is my Excel. So this one, it introduces us for what file that you would like to use. A file in Microsoft Excel, as I told you on last class, a file equals to a workbook in Microsoft Excel. For example, in here, you can see that if you would like to open it up, we just click on open other workbooks and then go to the file that we saved on last class. Or if you are newbies, that means, like if you just like come to this class as a first time, you just click on blank workbook, then you get this screen. Okay, this is a blank workbook or a new workbook that we have. This one, the book one here means the workbook. Okay, this is a workbook called book one. Okay. Okay, then let me just like open the file that we had on last class. Okay. We name it as my first book. Right. Okay, I'll open it up in here. So for anyone who just like come here on the first time, okay, we will save this file as my first book. We will save this file as my first book. How to save? We click file and then we save. If you just like save it on last class, once you click save, there seems like nothing happened, but actually it's saving. But for anyone who just like come here as a first time, once you click on save, it will be shown as here. Okay, save. And then you just like click the location where you would like to save the file and name this file as my first book. The file type, we save it as Excel workbook. When you choose it as Excel workbook, this one, it will be saved as the current version of Excel. It will be saved as current version of Excel. And how do we know that? What version of Excel do we have or are we using? Okay. So just save it. Okay. So when we would like to check for the version of Microsoft Excel, okay. If you would like to check for what version we are using, we just click on File, okay, on File menu, and then you just click on Account. If you click on Account, you can see that on the right-hand side here, it is telling us for the version that we use. For my computer, I just like install Excel 2016 only, because if I install the latest version, that is Excel 2019, okay, I'm sure that not many of you have been using 2019 version, and the interface or the screen will be different. So that's why I use Excel 16. So that means Excel 2010, 2006, the screen design are just like quite similar. And the features are just like quite similar, except just like something only, because in Excel 2016, they allow you to save the file on OneDrive, that is on the cloud or on the internet. And apart from that one, it allows you to use like Microsoft Excel to share with other people. So how to share? It share like the way that Excel 2016 is shareable. It's similar to your Google Doc. Once you type on anything while you are sharing with other people, okay, it's the same as like your friend or the person that you share will see the update of the data as well, and they can also just like type or update the file that while you are like looking at that sheet or that file as well. Okay, so and if you would like to share, the way to share is easy as well. Firstly, okay, but in this class, I just like don't use shareable mode. If you would like to share, just click on the top right corner of the screen below the close box here. You click share, and then it asks you step by step first. The first step, you have to save your file into the OneDrive first. You just click save to file, and then you have to choose OneDrive. Okay, because if you save in your computer, it's not shareable. Once you save it on OneDrive already, you just like choose the folder. After that, when you share, when you save it already, it asks you what account that you would like to share. But the same concept. when you would like to share with other people, those people have to use OneDrive as well, and they must have the what to say, Hotmail, so you can share like this file to them. So we talked already that okay, a file is the same as a workbook. So this one we name it as my first book, right? This is the first file that we have, and you can see that on the bottom left, it has a tab here. This is a sheet or a worksheet. A worksheet is the same as a page in Microsoft Excel. So that means you can have like many pages as you like. In order to have many pages, you see the bottom left corner on the right hand side of your sheet, you see plus symbol. The plus symbol here means that if you want to add some more worksheets, you can just like click on plus sign, and then the new sheet will come in. Okay, the new sheet will come in. In here you see sheet 2, something like that. Now, I would like to talk about the management of the sheet that we have. Firstly, if you would like to manage any sheet, you can shuffle the sheet around. So in order to shuffle the sheet, you just click on the sheet that you would like to move. For example, if you would like sheet 2 to be on the left hand side of sheet 1, you just like click your mouse, move your mouse pointer to sheet 2 tab, and then click and then drag. You can see that there will be like a small triangle. You put the small triangle in front of sheet 1. Then sheet 2 will be in front of sheet 1, right? This is shuffle or rearrange the order of the sheet. After that, what else that we can do with a sheet? If you say that you just like want to delete some sheet away. For example, sheet 2, you accidentally added and you don't want it. You right click and then you choose delete. Now you have just sheet 1 left. Apart from that one, if you say that you would like to have another sheet instead of click on plus symbol, what can we do? You may go to sheet 1 tab, right click, and this is what we call context menu. There are a lot of things that you may be able to manage your sheet. For example, in here, the first menu is insert. If you click on insert, it asks you what would you like to insert. In here, this class we choose worksheet, or at most we click chart to create a new chart. Now I just click create worksheet and then click OK. So you can see that there will be a new sheet coming in. And because we delete sheet 2 already, now the new sheet that is created is sheet 3. So if you don't want, just right click and then choose delete. Before I delete, let's do something with sheet 3 a bit. In order to rearrange the order of the sheet, instead of drag to release sheet 3 to be on the right hand side of sheet 1, okay, you may just like choose move or copy as well. What is move or copy? This is to just like put the position of the sheet where you would like to have. So this one I'll talk about in detail when we reach the part of moving or copying the sheet to another book or another file. This one you can see that it asks you that, okay, move selected sheet to book. Suppose you have many files, you can just like move this worksheet to another file without just like copy and paste. You just like use this menu. Apart from that one, if you just like choose move selected sheet to book and you choose just like the current book that is my first book, you may be just like choose sheet 3 to be moved to the end. If you choose move to the end, that means it's just like move sheet 3 to the right hand side of sheet 1. Okay, this is one thing that we did before by just dragging. It's the same. So the next thing is that what else that we may be able to do with a sheet? In order to just like manage the sheet more, okay, Okay, I'll still use move or copy function. It's here. You may copy the whole sheet to another sheet, okay, easily. So this one, okay, in sheet 1 we had something before, okay, we had some content before. I want to copy this sheet, okay, the entire or the whole sheet to a new sheet. What should I do? Somebody said, oh, I just like highlight them and copy and then go to the new sheet. Sorry, let me just create a new sheet and then paste it here. This might be one way that somebody did, but bear in mind, if you want everything in the worksheet to be copied to another sheet, using highlighting, copy and paste might not work well. The reason is because, okay, this time we just like get some example on last term already. When we have some function, some students just copy and then paste it on another sheet. The formula didn't come. The thing it came was just the data or the values only. So that means we couldn't find how you calculate that kind of value. So this might be a problem. But I mean, like, if you still insist to just copy, what are we going to do and what is the correct way? Let me just like delete sheet. Let me just like keep this sheet 4 first. Okay, I want to copy the content from sheet 1, okay, to be in the new sheet. Okay, there are a couple of ways to do. The first way is that if you would like to make sure that everything, including functions, including all the data, really goes to the new sheet, you like this. We go to sheet that the original sheet that you would like to copy the content. Right click. We right click on that sheet. Choose move or copy. Okay. After that, you know that the original data is this sheet 1. Okay, you want to create a copy here. So you just click create copy and then click OK. There will be another sheet generated called sheet 5 in this case. Sorry, sheet 1 in the parenthesis 2, sheet 1 in the parenthesis 2, because it's a copy of sheet 1. This is sheet 1, copy 2. Everything will be absolutely the same as sheet 1 when you copy at the copy time. But I mean, like, from now, if you just like change anything from sheet 1, it doesn't affect sheet 1 copy 2 anymore. Okay, so you can see that everything is really copied. So that is the first way. Somebody said that, oh, I just like I sheet already. Okay, let's say in this case sheet 3, and I just want to copy the content only, and I'm sure that I don't mind if the function doesn't come in. What should we do? In order to copy entire sheet, we don't highlight like this, because you will never know which cell consists of the data or not. The thing that we do is that, okay, let's go to the A1 first. You can see that on the top left corner of the worksheet here, you see a box with the gray triangle here, right? If you click over there, it will choose the entire sheet. It will highlight the entire sheet. Let's try to do it. Now, when I click, the entire sheet will turn gray. You just choose copy. Now you are copying everything. I mean, every cell in this worksheet. And then you just go to the sheet that you would like to paste it, and then just paste. So everything in the sheet 1 will be pasted to sheet 3. Okay. Most of the data and most of the functions will be copied here. Okay. Right. This is to copy the content from one sheet to another sheet. After that, when we just like know how to copy the content into another sheet already, what else that we may be able to do with the context menu here? In this one, you can just decorate the tab a bit by just choosing tab color. If you say that, okay, use green, you can see that the tab color here, sheet 3 is green. Okay, this is just decoration if you would like to highlight or doing anything. Okay, right. Okay, now I just would like to eliminate the sheet that I don't want. The sheet that I don't want is sheet 1, copy 2, sheet 3, sheet 4. I don't want them. I want just sheet 1. Okay, I delete the rest of them. Okay, right click and choose delete. And bear in mind that if you have some content in that worksheet, it will ask you first whether you would like to really delete this sheet. But if it's a blank sheet, it will not ask you for anything. It can delete for you automatically. Okay. Now sheet 3, it has some content in here. If I right click and then choose delete, sheet 4. Okay, I don't want sheet 4 too. Right click and then I choose delete. Now let me just create another extra sheet. When you create the extra sheet like this, okay, and this is the blank sheet, if you would like to delete, it will not ask you for anything for the confirmation. It deletes for you straight away because there's nothing in here. Okay, let me delete sheet 6. See, it can be deleted straight away because we don't have any content or functions inside. Now let's come back to sheet 1. Okay, in sheet 1 here, okay, all the things that we enter on last class, let me have a short recap again. On last time, I told you that whenever we called each box in the worksheet, okay, like this one, we call it as, this one, we call it as a cell, C-E-L-L cell. Okay, it's a cell in Microsoft Excel. When you would like to enter any data, you have to store them in the cell. Okay. Normally, each piece of data is stored in one cell. And normally, for Microsoft Excel, the good thing that we do is that we use each cell to store the data so that we can just manage it. We can calculate it, okay, in this one. So when you have to just do like this, the thing that you have to know about the data that you should be able to enter the data into each cell is that you have to enter it without any special character. What do I mean by special character? Special character, if you have a look in the data like this, $sign is a special character, comma is a special character, but dot is not special character for a data. So that means it's okay if you enter dot. What do I mean? Why special character relates to this matter? This one I'm talking about numbers that you enter. For example, if you would like to enter the currency values, for example, if you would like to enter $20, in order to enter $20, just enter 20 only. Don't enter $sign. So how do we know that the thing that we enter is correct or not? If it is the number, this is an easy trick to notice. If it is the number, if you don't have any spatial setting, the number should be right indent. The number should be right indent. It means that in the cell, the number should be shift or indent to the right hand side. So that means in this case, $20 and $1,000 here is left indent. This is not number. They are not numbers. But if you have a look on this one, in the cell B4 and B5, where I enter $20 and $1,000. These are right indents. That means they are correct numbers. And how can we have like dollar sign and dot and comma, okay, in order to represent these currency values? The way in order to have dollar sign and comma here, we use cell format. We have to format the cells. How to format the cell? Firstly, you have to highlight those cells you would like to format first. For example, if I want to highlight or if I want to set the format for just these two cells, I highlight two cells. If I want to format this whole column to be the currency, I click on column name and it highlights the whole column. So right now, if I want to set up the format of the cells, I just right click where I highlight those cells or those columns. I right click. You can see that there is format cell menu here. You just click format cells. After that, you just choose what format is on the number tab. If it just show on other tabs, you just click on number tab instead. Now you just choose the format of the cells you would like to use. For example, if you would like them to be currency, then you choose currency. Choose decimal place. Where would you like to have? Choose the symbol for the currency symbol, the leading currency symbol that it should be. Apart from that one, you can see that lower than the symbol, it's the negative number. The negative number here means that if the number in the cell is negative, how would you like it to be displayed? For example, here, okay, let's see the first one. The first one, it just shows negative symbol in front of this, in front of dollar sign, and it still shows in black color. The next one, it doesn't show negative symbol, but the display will be in red color. The third one is similar in this case. From this setting, it's still showing in the same as the first one. And the last one show negative symbol and also change the color to be red as well. Okay. So this one, if I say that I want the first format to be negative and still in black color, click OK. So you can see that right now, the data is shown as like dollar sign and $1,000. Let me clear out this value first. If you would like to clear the data, okay, we don't highlight and choose delete. It's not the correct way, because if you choose delete, it will pop up and ask you whether you would like to shift other cells up, whether you would like to delete the entire row or column or not. Okay, no, this is not to clear the data. If you would like to clear the data, you just highlight the cells that you don't want the values anymore, and then you press delete button on your keyboard. When you press delete, it just clears the data for you without asking anything. Let me undo first. Apart from pressing delete button, you may highlight them and then right click, choose clear content. It's the same thing. Okay. So this is the way in order to just like clear out the data. So now you can see that these are blank cells. I'll type 20 and I'll type 1,000 and see what happens. This will be the correct way in order to enter the currency value here. I enter 20. You can see that the original value is 20, but when I press enter, it just like put the setting of the cell format for you. It just apply dollar sign and decimal point. Now I enter 1,000. Okay, this is $1,000 .00. Okay. So in here, okay, how do you know what original value that we have? In here, the cell B4, the cell B4. If you would like to know the location of the cell, just click on that cell and see the coordinate of the cell. It's the cell B4, cell B4. In the cell B4 here, If you want to know the original value, you click on the cell, okay? And after that, you just have a look on this one. This is what we call formula bar. The whole white box here is the formula bar. Okay. The formula bar here is showing 20. It means that original value that you enter was 20. But because of the cell format, it shows $sign in front, it shows decimal point for you. Okay. So why do we call it as formula bar? Because normally we use this box to type the formula, and after that we just like have a look on this box to see what formula that you enter into this cell as well. Okay, that's why we call it as formula box or formula bar. So right now, you know already that, okay, how do we gonna format the cells properly? If you would like to format the cells for more, for example, if you said that, okay, this column is the date, you may just like highlight and choose format. And after that, you just choose the data type to be date as well. Okay. So this one is the way that we use in order to have the date to be set up. It depends on what display that you would like to have. Okay. Just a little bit more. For the date, it's spatial and it's different a bit from just like what we use every day. You can see that when we enter the date. Okay. Suppose I say that this is date column. Let me just set up this column as a date as well. Date. Choose Gregorian. Okay. So you can see that for Thai style, we use date in this style. Okay, these two styles. Start from day, month, and year. Okay, day, month, and year. This is Thai style. But I mean, like for other countries, like for example, for American, they use they start with the month first instead of the day. Okay, let me just like show you this example. We just use this style. Okay, day, month, and year. Okay. Suppose we enter today's date, 14/9/2020. Okay. So in here, you can see that if you just like setting the format of the cell again, okay, we want to have, let's say, some other stuff. This one. We use date, day, and then followed by month in text, and then the year. You can see that in here, as I told you on last class, okay, you have to remember this one because in the future, you have to use this one as well. And it always happens to us. Every time when you see your column with lots of hatches like that, this means the column is too narrow to show your data. Then you have to just like widen your column. How to do that? If you remember, in order to widen the column, you may just like choose a column and then go to the border of the column, drag it. Okay, then it just like show the content of yours. Or you may just like click on that column and then go to the right border of the column, double click. It will automatically fit your column width. Okay. This one, okay, you can see that it shows 14 September 2020. For this one, it's okay. But in the older version of Excel, okay, including Excel 2010 as well, when you enter the data, if you enter the date, okay, Suppose you would like to enter today's date. You may have to enter as hang on, 9/14/2020 instead. Okay. And when you enter the date, how do you know that whether it's correct or not? How do you know that it's correct or not? Same concept as currency or numbers. If you enter and then it's left indent, it's wrong. Because every time when the data is typed and it shows as a left indent, it means it's the text. But you can see that this one, we want it to be the date. That's why we have to just like want it to be the date that is normally right indent. You can see that here. For the correct date, it's right indent like this. So let's check if you type in and it's left indent for the date, it's wrong. Then you may have to just like retype the data instead. For example, now if you type 9/14/2020, you may have to type 14/9/2020 instead. So just check for your version. So in here, what do I want you to see on the formula bar? If you have a look on the date 14 September 2020 recently type in, if you remember 14/9/2020, right? In here, it just like format these values and show as 14 September 2020. If you want to see original data that you really type in, just refer to the formula bar. And you can see that our original value was 14/9/2020. Okay, this is the usefulness of the formula bar. It shows us for the original value that we have. Okay, right. Okay then. So we have this just like formatting of the cells already. What is the next thing that we have to do? The next thing that we have to do is that when we would like to just set up the width of the column and the height of the row, okay, as I told you a couple of minutes ago, you highlight the column or you highlight the row that you would like to set up the width or the height. Okay, the first way, you just manually drag, okay, just manually drag to set up the width. Or you may just like want to have the auto fit. You highlight the column or you highlight the row. And after that, at the border of the column or of the row, you just like double click. It will be automatically fit your the width of the column or the row for you. But if you said that, but anyway, column B and column C, we want them to have the same width, what should we do? Okay. If you want them to have the same width, okay, you highlight both of them. Firstly, if you say that I want to manually drag for the fit, you can just like go for the border of either column B or column C and then drag to the width that you want. Both of them will go along together with the same width. For the height is as well. If you highlight them and then you just drag some of the border, so every row will have the same height. Every row that you highlight will have the same height. Or if you would like to have the automatically fit for every single column or every single row, okay, let me just drag to have that like the very high row first. Once you highlight them, you just go to any border of any highlighted row, then you double click. So it will be automatically fit the height of the row. Same as a column in here. If you double click on any border, every column will go with the automatically fit for the width of the column. But if you say that, no, I want column A, B, and C to have the same width, and I don't want to manually set up the width, because I have specific width that I want, You highlight them first. Go to the border of like either column A or B or C that you highlight, and then right click. Then we choose column width, and then you just specify the width that you want in numbers. For example, you say 20. 20 here means 20 point in Microsoft Excel is not millimeter or centimeter. Okay. If you say that it's too wide, say that it's just 12 is enough. Oh, but column C is a bit too narrow. You may say that, oh, I just want to have just like 18, sorry. Yeah, this one is okay, right? So this is setting the width of the column. Same as the row height. If you want to have the height, you can specify the height of the row as well in numbers, okay, as you like. The next one, how about the hiding of some column or some row? Sometimes some columns you don't use it now, you want to hide it. Hide it is not the same as delete it, because you still have that data. For example, you say that you don't want column A to be displayed here. You want to hide it. What should we do? In order to hide, you choose that row or that column. When you would like to hide, you have to hide those entire row, the content of entire row or the entire column. For example, here, if you don't want column A, you highlight column A first. Right click, choose hide. You can see that right now column A is hidden. Okay, you don't see column A. Suppose you say that I want to hide column C as well. You highlight column C, right click, choose hide. Okay. You want to hide row number 8. Okay, everyone just practice what I'm talking right now. I want to hide column A, row 8, sorry. Highlight row 8, right click, choose hide. Okay. So what would I like you to see? How do we know that we hide some rows or columns or not around here? Firstly, everyone knows that column must be started with column A. But now there's no column A, right? We start with column B. That means column A is hidden. Because if you delete, the first column will be column A anyway. But this one, you don't know what happened, but there is no column A here. But that means column A is hidden. Next. There must be another column hidden around here. Because you can see that when we have column B, the next column must be column C, but there's no column C here. The next column that you see is column D, and where is column C is hidden. And how do we know that it's hidden apart from just like the skipping of some numbers or some values of the column? You can see that the border between columns are different from others. Have a look. Between column B and D, you can see that the border is a white color. But between column D and E and F and G, they are just like gray color. So this one is different from others. So what it is, what it means? It means that there is a column hidden around here. If you have a look on the row, you can see that it's row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then skip to 9. Column A, row number 8 is hidden. Okay, is missing. That means it's hidden. So apart from that one, you can see that the row separator here is double line, while other row separation is just a single line only. Right. So this is the way to notice whether there are hidden rows or column or not. How to unhide them? In order to bring them back, it's easy. There are a couple of ways. The first one, highlight the column between or the row between the hidden row or hidden column. For example, I will unhide column C first. You highlight B and D, right? And then if you just drag them to resize the width, column C is back. Let me undo first. The next step, the next way, in order to unhide column C is that you highlight the column between, the columns between. And after that, you double click on the border of either column B or D. Now I just double click on the right hand side border of column D. You can see that column C is back as well. Okay, this is two ways to unhide. I undo again. What else? Do we have any other ways to unhide? You highlight between two columns before and after the hidden column. You right click, choose unhide. Then column C is back as well. We do the same thing with the row. In here, I may right click and then choose unhide. Row 8 is back. Now, come back to column A. Column A is hidden here. So it is a bit difficult than other column because there is no column before column A. Then you have to just like move the mouse pointer over the border between the top left box and column B, and then double click. You can see that it's quite difficult, right? Here to choose between. So the thing that you may have to do is that you may have to just like highlight the whole worksheet by going to choose on the top left corner of this worksheet and then right click, choose unhide. Okay, here column A is back already. Something like that. Okay. Or you double click if you can, and then column A should be back. So now, okay, you know how to hide and how to display all the rows and columns already. The next thing that we have to do is that how do we gonna insert the row and column between the existing rows and columns that we have. For example, if we say that on column A and column B, we want another extra column in between. We may insert an extra column in between these two columns. In order to insert an extra column between any pair of columns, firstly, you go to the right column that you want to insert. For example, you want to have another column before column B. Then you highlight column B. After that, you right click and choose insert. There will be another column, another blank column inserted here. Same as the rows. If you say that you want to have an extra row before row number 4, okay, then you click on row number 4, highlight all row number 4, and then right click, choose insert. It's the same. There will be an extra row to be inserted before row 4. And row 4 will be pushed down to be row number 5 instead. So the next thing is that we may just like we may manage the cells that we want to have as well. For example, you may merge the cell, you may wrap the text. What do I mean? Okay, in this one, in order to just like merge the cell or wrap the text, this is to just like set up the display of the value as well. I would like to create another worksheet. Okay. So sheet number 1, I will rename it first. How to rename the sheet? You don't need to leave the sheet name as sheet 1 all the time. You can name it as any name that you want. In order to renaming the worksheet, you can do 2 ways. The first one, you go to the sheet, okay, the sheet tab. double click on the sheet tab. For example, I want to rename sheet 1 to be test. Okay, I double click. You can see that there will be highlighted on the worksheet 1, right? I rename it as test. Okay, this is the first way. And then I press enter. Then sheet 1 will be renamed as test sheet already. Okay. After that, I said, oh, for the test sheet here, okay, if I want to rename it again, like to be test 1, okay, apart from double click on the sheet name, what should I do? You move the mouse pointer to the sheet tab, right click, choose rename. It's the same thing. And then if you name it as test 1, something like this, press enter. So this is to rename the sheet as we want. Okay, right. Okay then. Up to this point, do you have any question, anyone? If you have any question, feel free to just type on the chat box or turn on your microphone and speak over the microphone to ask me. Okay, both of them are okay too.
On row number 5, there's like a paintbrush icon or something, and it says it's asking me if I should format the other rows from the row before. I'm not quite sure how that functions.
Anthony, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you clearly. Your voice is just like was not clear. Can you just like repeat it once again?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you,
Hello?
but I was not quite. Sorry. Yeah. What?
Okay. On row number, after I added another a row after 4, I was prompted with like a paintbrush icon, and on the top left-hand corner, yeah, I wasn't sure exactly how that functions.
For this one is the formatting for the newly created rows. You can see that once you just like click on the paintbrush. Okay, let me just like delete it first. Okay, right. Now, if you highlight row number 4, you right click and then choose insert, right? So there will be a pop-up paintbrush here. It means the insert option. What does it mean? Insert option means that if you insert the new row, what type of the format of the cells would you like to have? For example, in this one, you can see that in column C here, we format the text or we format the value to be currency, if you remember. Once you insert the new row, would you like the format of the newly created row to be currency as well? Or would you like it to be just a text? If you say that, okay, format same as above, means that if row number 3 has any format, the new row 4 will have the same format as row 3 for that cell, correspondingly, column by column. Format same as below means that if row number 4 before had any format that you apply, the newly created row 4 on that cell will have the same format as the old row before. Or clear formatting means that you don't want to have any format to be set up. That means it's just a regular kind of like no format. Okay, for example, in here, if I say that clear formatting, okay, let's see. I type 20. It's just 20. It doesn't have currency format. See that? This is the meaning of like the formatting of the newly created row. Is it okay, Anthony?
Yes, John, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Okay. So if you don't have any question now, okay, let me move on to the next thing. Okay. When you just like think of like any question, feel free to just ask me. Okay. Right. Okay. The next one, we will create the new worksheet and we will start entering the data together. Okay. Please type by yourself too. Don't just like have a look at me, because I would like you to experience all the features in Microsoft Excel and functions as well. So we create the new worksheet. Click on the plus sign to create a new sheet. Okay. We will name this sheet as revenue 2019. Revenue 2019. Okay. Just rename it as revenue 2019. You can have space, you can have spatial characters in the sheet name as you like. So in order to zoom, okay, just in case that you say that, oh, my computer screen is very small, the laptop screen is just 13-inch, I would like to just like increase the size of each cell. Okay. Because sometimes when you just like really would like to print it out, you may just print it in the regular paper. But I mean, like sometimes the data that we have might be just like might be like a lot, and you would like to show them just like to fit in A4 paper or something like that. I'm trying to find some piece of document to show you that how people really print it out. Never mind, next time I'll show you. It's just like the balance sheet. That's just like my accountant just print it out for me. Okay, next time I'll show you. Okay, how to zoom. There are a couple of ways to zoom. The first one, you can see that on the bottom right corner of your screen, Excel screen here. You can see that in here there is plus symbol, and then there is the bar here. You can just like click and drag zoom. You can see that right now when you zoom in, the cell seems to be bigger. Okay. The next way that you zoom, if you use mouse, okay, trackpad doesn't work. It works with mouse only. You just click on some cells. Okay. Keep pressing Control. Hold Control button, and then you see the scrolling wheel on your mouse. In here, the scrolling wheel here. Just scroll it up. The size of the picture is bigger. Okay. But it doesn't just like enlarge the size of the cell when you type it or when you print it out. Right. Okay, then in this one, we will enter the revenue 2019 together. So I try to type everything in one cell first, and then I just like manage it later on. Okay. You can see that it just like go beyond column A a lot. Okay. Right. When you finish typing, I want you to type just January and February only. Okay, and then I'll just like do something to let you see. Excel has the automatic the features for automatically filling up the data for us if the data are in the series. What do I mean by series? When it has a series of like months, when it has when you have the series of months. For example, Jan, Feb, and then it will be March, April, and so on for sure. Apart from month, what else? If you have the sequence of numbers like 1, 2, 3, it knows that the next one will be 4, 5, 6 for sure. So these are series of numbers or values that Excel can automatically fill up for you. In this one, it's so easy. Instead of typing March to December, you don't need to do so. You just type some example for Excel first. In this case, we type Jan and Feb, okay? But you have to type it correctly, okay? After that, you highlight them, okay? You highlight Jan and Feb, January and February. You can see that in here, it has quick analysis tools, okay, like enter chart or color coding and formulas. I'll talk about it later on. But right now, the things I want you to notice is here. Bottom right corner of February cell. You can see that it has a green dot, okay? It has a green dot. What does it mean? The green dot here can be automatically filling up. And apart from that one, if you move the mouse pointer on the green dot, you can see that the regular mouse pointer is the white cross like this. But if you move the mouse pointer over the green dot, it shows as the black hairline cross. The black hairline cross. Then the black hairline cross means that you can do something with these two cells that you entered before. In this one, we will automatically fill up the data. So the things that you have to do is that drag the black hairline cross down. Okay, everyone just drag it down. You can see that once you drag for one cell, it shows the small bubble as March. Another one, April, May. Okay, you do the continue dragging until December. Okay, until December. If you release now, it will fill up these cells with these values the rest of the month until December. If you drag more, you can see that it's January, February. Again, that means on the next year. Okay, we want 1 year only. I want from March to December to be filled up. You can see that in here. It's just like fill up March to December for us. Okay. Then I just like get this kind of month only already. After that, okay, we start entering the revenue. Bear in mind that when you enter the data, like the currency amount, you just like enter the number only. Don't enter special character like comma or dollar sign. Okay. Right. Okay, everyone just like finish these numbers. Once you enter the number already, okay, let me just tell you the trick. Okay, while you are just like entering. If you enter some data and you found that, hey, I forgot some numbers or I forgot to enter some value, for example, for my one. Okay. Suppose in April it's 1,005,000, okay, but I just like accidentally type 100,500 like this. I must have another zero behind. There are a couple of ways to change these values. Somebody said, oh, I may retype it, so it wastes the time. There are a couple of ways that you may do in order to insert another zero there. Firstly, you double click on that cell and then go to the position that you want to add some number. For example, I just have another zero here. Okay, that is the first way. Second way, you go to the formula bar and you can see that in here. Once you would like to fix that values, you just press 0 in that formula bar and then press enter. Okay. Or you can edit anything. Another one, okay, this one works on Windows only. Okay, on Mac, I'll just like show you another way. On Windows, if you want to fix 100,500 to be 1,005,000, okay, you press function key F2. Function key F2. Once you press function key F2, you see the cursor that is blinking behind the values, and then you can fix it. Okay. On Mac, you press Control F2. It's the same thing as on Windows. It's just like the cursor is blinking, something like that. Okay. All right. Now we just like finished this one already. Okay. We will format the cells. I'll just like show the dollar signs and decimal points and comma separators on column B. Okay. I choose column B, right click, then I choose format cell. I choose currency, and then choose 2 decimal places. Symbol, I want it to be dollar sign in US, and then regular kind of the color. I still want it to be black. It's okay. Yeah. So this one. So this is the way in order to have the formatting correctly. So let me undo first. Apart from choosing the format by just going to right click and then choose format cells, what else can we do? If you want to have the quick format, you can do it easily. Firstly, you highlight the cells you want to format or column you want to format first, like this one. Next, in the Home tab or on the Home menu, you will see the ribbon here talking about the numbers category. This one is formatting. You may choose currency from here. Okay. And then what else? You may just like choose the currency decimal points as you like. But you can see that for the currency like this, the things, because it's just a quick format, you can't adjust the type of the currency for symbol to be displayed. In this one, because when I set up my Windows, I say that my current location is in Thailand. The locale or like the standard kind of values that I use is in Thai baht. So that's why it shows Thai baht for me. The things that we have to do is that if we said no, actually I want dollar sign, then you have to then just like right click and choose format here. Okay, and then change. So because it's the quick format, so that's why it cannot manage everything for you. Now it just changed to be dollar sign already. Next, I said that I want the revenue, but I mean the problem in this worksheet is that I don't want to have decimal points, because if you see that every month for the revenue, it doesn't have any cent after points in here. So I don't want decimal point. It's too detailed for displaying. So in this one, you may just highlight them, right click, choose format cell, and then decrease the decimal point as you like. Okay, this is the first way. The second way is that you can use like the shortcut here in the home tab to decrease number of decimal points as well. So you can see that this one, the rightmost one here, is to decrease the decimal point. Is to decrease the decimal point. You click it, and then it is decreasing. You can see that right now it doesn't have any decimal points anymore. Okay, right. Okay, then this is the way in order to just like the tricks to format the cells a bit. Next on, we will create a table in here. Okay, we'll draw the border and make the value that you enter as the table. In here, I just highlight what I want to have the border. Okay, and then I may just like right click and choose format cell in here. Choose border, and then you just like adjust what you like in here. Or you may just right click, highlight first, right click, and then you can see that there is a shortcut that you may be able to manage here. You can have the border in here as well. Just choose the border, standard border that you want to have. Or you highlight these cells, and in the home tab, you can see that there is a border as well here in the font group. Yeah, and then you just choose the type of border that you would like to have. In here, I choose all border. Okay. And then I also have like the thick outside border as well. Okay. Right. So this one, the revenue in US dollars in B3 is just like out of the border a bit. Okay. You have a couple of ways to do. The first one, you may just widen this column to cover the all the text in heading of column B. Okay, that is the first way. Next, I will show you what we call wrap text and merchant center. Okay. Wrap text means that if the text is beyond its border, it's just wrap it down to another line. Okay, for example, you can see that the revenue in US dollars here, okay, is just like go over the border of column B. I want it to be just like wrapped down to be on the next row instead of instead of widen my column, because I might have some other values to be displayed on other columns as well, and it might go over the width of the page of my paper that I would like to print it out. Okay, so what are we going to do? If I want to just like wrap the text in cell B3, you click on the cell B3. Okay. In the home tab, you can see that there is a button called wrap text. A button called wrap text is here. Click on wrap text. You can see that it wraps down the word in US dollars to be down another row. It's wrapping the text. Okay. Right, and then you just put them as the center aligned. Okay. I make them as both. I may just change the color of the heading a bit. Yellow color. Okay, now we just like set up the table already. Okay, and I think maybe I want my table to be shifted to the right hand side a bit. You may just like highlight them. Okay, and then cut and paste. Or okay, this one I just would like to show you how to move the content without cut and paste. in this one, I want to move this table, okay, to be on the right hand side for one more column. Okay. The things that I have to do is that highlight them first. After that, I go to some edge of this table. For example, I go to the right edge. You can see that once again, the white cross will be changed to be 4-directional arrow cross. Here. The things you can do is that drag it somewhere else as you like. For example, I drag it to one more column on the right hand side. In here, you can see that the whole table is moving. And then I adjust the width of it. Okay, right. This is to move the table. Let me do it again. Highlight them. Go to grab on the edge of the table and then drag it somewhere that you like to have. Okay, like this. Right. Okay, then we just like move the table around already. Okay, move the table around already. Okay, right. So the next thing that you have to do is that we will create the new column. We will create the new column called revenue in Thai baht. Okay. So if we know that, okay, the average currency exchange rate was 31.23 baht per dollar in 2019. What should we do? We have to do the calculation. Okay, we have to do the calculation to convert from US dollars to be Thai baht in here. Now, I want to talk about the calculation in Microsoft Excel to convert from US dollars to be Thai baht. Okay. Everyone, keep in mind, this is important. When you have to start any calculation in Microsoft Excel, always start the cell with equal sign. Equal sign. Equal sign is start of any calculation or function in Excel. Okay, you put equal sign. Okay. So, for example, if you know that the standard, the average currency exchange that we have to use is 31.23. Okay. For sure, you have to multiply 31.23 with 950,000. Okay. So the way in order to calculate is like this. Let me show you that how do we gonna put the value in the cell here. So that means in the cell D4, I will put equal sign 950,000 multiply we use star symbol, multiply by 31.23. This is the formula that we have to put. Let me just like show you some important things to know first when we have to calculate anything on Excel. The first one is that in Excel, once you calculate, the number is the number. Never put special symbol. You can see that I don't put dollar sign, I don't put comma, okay, in 950,000 in here. Okay. The next one, the operation like multiplication here. Okay. In front and behind the multiplication symbol, you may or you may not have space. Both of them are okay. Excel knows that it's multiplication. Okay, right. Okay, then let's try. if you would like to calculate this number, we have 31.323. Okay, we put equals to 950,000 multiplied by 31.23. You can see that I don't put the space at all. Somebody said that I'm not quite okay with it because sometimes I'm not sure that whether it will become just like text with numbers or not. You may put parentheses if you like anywhere. In this one, if I put, here, if I put $sign, parentheses, both of them are okay. Now I have another pair, another extra pair of parentheses as well. This one is okay too. Now press enter. So you can see that in here it shows some values 3E plus 07 because we haven't formatted the cells yet. Now I would like to format this cell to be currency as well. I want to format the cell to be currency. And I put 2 decimal places too. And I want it to be shown as Thai baht symbol. Okay, this is the result in calculation. And you can see that 29.6 million come from what? The original calculation, as I told you earlier, because this is the output, okay, it shows the output for you. The original calculation can be viewed here. It's from 950,000 times 31.23. Okay, we do like this for the rest of the cells that we have for calculation. Okay. So the next one, we multiply 962,850 by 31.23. Okay, you get this number and do the rest of the thing. You can see that by having the calculation like this, there are 2 things that are not quite good. The first of them, when you type everything manually like this, it's possible that the numbers that you type and the original number, you may mistype it and it caused the wrong calculation. This one you have to be careful. Next, 31.23 is another problem. If I say that the average exchange rate was 31.23, that means every single cell when you calculate, the right-hand side term is 31.23, right? That you type manually. But what if I said, oh, sorry, I tell you wrongly, average was not 31.23, it is 32.14 instead. What will we do? You have to go to every cell and change 31.23 to be 32.14, and it wastes a lot of time. Then you shouldn't do that. Okay, these are 2 major problems. The first one is typo. Second one is redundancy, or just like many times for entering the data. How do we solve the problem? The way to solve the problem of like lots of typing like this, and in order to avoid the typo and just make or utilize Excel as much as you can, is that you should have used the concept that is what we call referencing in Microsoft Excel. What is referencing in Microsoft Excel? Referencing in Microsoft Excel is the way that you refer the data or the content from another places. We have 2 kinds of referencing that you have to know. The first one is what we call relative referencing. Second one, we call it as absolute referencing. Today, I'm going to talk about relative referencing first. Okay. So relative referencing means you refer, okay, to another cell. You refer the data from another cell or the formula from another cell. How do we gonna refer? It's so easy. In order to refer to the to another cell is so easy. The way that we have to do is that you refer by using its cell location. For example, if you know that 962,850 here actually is located in the cell C5, then you substitute 962,850 by C5 instead. So from the current formula, it will become equals to C5 times 31.23 instead. So this one is called relative referencing. C5 is relative referencing. And next, to solve the other problem that I told you, for 31.23 here, it's the, it's the cell that we have the average currency exchange rate. Okay, we will put it in another cell, but that one we solve it later. Now we talk about the first relative reference first. Okay, I will replace the revenue in US dollars in column D to be the cell in front. Okay, to be the cell in front. Now I'm going to do the relative reference for the January's revenue first. Okay, I put equals to, this is the cell C4, right? I type C4 times 31. Suppose I say that is 31.23. Okay, and then I press enter. So you can see that it just showed 29.6 million baht for me. And if you have a look, the original calculation is located in here. It's C4 times 31.23. And if you double click on this cell, you can see that the referring cell, C4 here, is in blue color. It is matching with the box or with the cell with blue color as well. The color will be the same. That means if you refer, okay, the cell you are referring will be surrounded with the same color as the text that is shown as a cell location in your calculation here. Okay, right. Okay, now, before I move on to the next cell, do you have any questions, anyone? Okay, if you don't have any question, let me just like talk about the sale of revenue in February. In order to copy, okay, you may just like put Control C, or you just go to Home and click Copy. Okay. You go to February's revenue in Thai baht and press Enter. Then I want you to have a look on the formula. On the January's revenue, it is C4 times 31.23, right? In February's revenue, it's C5 times 31.23 as well. So what would I like you to see? We have equals to C4 times 31.23, and we also have equals to C5 times 31.23. This one is the phenomenon of relative reference. If you copy the cell down, one row down. Okay, row number will be added by 1. From C4, it will be C5. Now let's do the rest of the thing to other cell. If you want to paste for more than one row or for more than one cell, you may highlight the cell you want to paste. Okay, for example, I want to paste it to December, from March to December, and then I press enter. So all the formulas will be copied down. And what I want you to see, if you have a look on the cell D6, the formula is C6 times 31.23, same as the other cells until the last one, December. It must be C15 times 31.23. So these are like the consequence of using relative reference. Once you copy the formula down for one row, the row number of the referring cell will be added by 1, something like that. Okay. Next, if you copy the cell to another column, what will happen? Just have a look. You can see that in here. If you see the formula, it is D4 by 31.23. So you can see that this is the consequence of relative reference as well. C4, once you copy to the column on the right hand side, column will be added by 1. Column C plus 1 goes to column D. This is wrong. We don't want it. So be careful. If you use relative reference, see the direction that you want to copy. If you say that everything goes down, okay, like this one, revenue in Thai baht like this, relative reference, it works. It works. But if you just copy it to the right hand side, D4 times 31.23, it's wrong already because you can't multiply revenue in Thai baht with the currency exchange like this once again. It's wrong. You have to check carefully before you just like use copying of the relative reference. Okay. Right. Okay. Any questions in the relative reference first example that we have right now? Instead of copying, can we drag down the green dot? Yes, Manit, we can. Thanks for asking me. That is a very good question. Here, okay, let me just like clear out the values of other cells first. Okay. In here, you see green dot, right? You just drag. Drag is to copy as well. It's the same. Okay. Right. This is the way in order to copy and paste as well, without just like highlight and then press enter. Okay. You know why somebody just like use, keyboard instead? Because somebody has like the motoring problem. They cannot just they can't control the keep on dragging. So that's why they will just like prefer to use keyboard instead. Okay, right. Okay, this is correct. This is like we get the same value as well. Okay, so let me just like compare between like the previous way that we did multiply 31.23, right? Okay, if I just copy and then highlight and then press enter, you get the same number. Okay, they are absolutely the same. Right. Okay, then any other questions for the relative reference example that we have? Okay, so if you don't have any questions, I think I will stop at this point. I will stop at this point. On next class, we will talk about the way in order to use the absolute reference to help. Because right now, you can see that we just used the first kind of referencing, that is relative reference already. So we will see what is absolute reference and how absolute reference can help us, okay, before we move on to the next kind of topic. Right. Okay, then, before I finish the class, any questions so far, anyone? Okay, so if you don't have any question, everyone, could you please turn on your microphone so that I can just like capture who is here today. Okay. So everyone, I want you to practice on like the things that we learn, so that you can have the question asked me on next class. Okay, right. And then from next week, I think we can start having some exercises already. Post the exercise for you. Right. Okay, then everyone. Okay, if you don't have any questions, you have a nice day, and we see each other again on this coming Wednesday. Okay. Bye bye for now, everyone. Have a nice day. Bye. Bye bye. See you around.
Thank you.
Come by.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Siki, do you have any questions? Siki Liu, do you have any questions to ask me? So if no, I'm leaving now. If you have any question, feel free to just like ask me to Line Messenger. Okay, bye bye.